Hey, have you wondered how to check for a keylogger or a keystroke logger? There's other terms for it. Have you wondered if somebody or how to check to see if there is a program or even a hardware device that is capturing your keystrokes anytime that you press your keyboard, a key on your keyboard? Here's an example. This is just an example logger, could have been made up, but you notice the type of content and the operation, insert, delete, and then the type of text. Now when it comes to logging, it can log not just what you type, but anytime you press any key on your keyboard. Have you ever wondered if there's a piece of software or a hardware device that is logging that on your computer? Well, I'm going to show you how. First, you need to know what this concept is. It's called keystroke logging. It's been around a long time. They used to use it with typewriters. I'm not going to go over the history, but decades ago, people were able to capture the keystrokes on a typewriter, as an example. Modern times, it's computers. Now, it can or cannot be nefarious. I don't think this is really a good idea. People will argue that, well, to monitor your children and blah blah, your employer. I don't know about that, but I'm not going to discuss the productivity, whether this should be occurring or not. It does. Now, you can get infected. Keystroke loggers, keyloggers, you know what I'm saying? They can be embedded in viruses and malware and spyware. And here's a warning. Since YouTube, also known as We Censor YouTube, they hate free speech. This video may get pulled. If it gets pulled, it will be archived and you'll be able to access it at anetcomputers.com. That's my warning. Alright, so you need to know what this is all about. And now this is just, I cannot believe that this occurs, but did you know that Microcrap, Microslop, Windblow's operating system, that disastrous corporation called Microsoft that I cannot stand, did you know that in Microsoft Windows 10 and 11, they have a built-in keylogger? Yeah, it says to improve typing and writing services. Really? I don't believe that for a minute, but hey, that's what they claim. Now, you can disable it in Microsoft Windows 10 and 11. So, first you need to know what this is. Anytime you press any keys on your keyboard, whether it's a universal serial bus or the integrated keyboard if you have a laptop, any kind of input. Now, there might be a logger for mouse clicks too. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you need to know. And it does occur. There can be nefarious people, your employer, whoever. Also, it's not just software related. They show, this is an older Wikipedia, and they do show a hardware-based keylogger, which, look, it's just a universal serial bus. Sure, you can run a program off a universal serial bus flash device, and then insert it into a USB port, universal serial bus port, and people may not know. And there's other hardware-based keyloggers too. So what you want to do how to check for is, number one, obviously hardware. If you do not recall or you see a suspicious universal serial bus flash drive or any kind of hardware device on your computer that you do not remember connecting yourself, yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you want to look for. Now, as far as software, that's a different story. There might be malware programs, anti-malware and anti-spyware programs that may scan, but they might not be able to. Some malware and some spyware programs that are you know what I'm saying, they actually, when it comes to keyloggers, which this is just, I can't believe that this occurs, but most people do not care about security. All you have to do is study the 7 layers of the OSI model, and you quickly find out that computers are not secure at all. They never have been. It's very difficult to completely lock them down, but an average person has no idea, and these capitalists gone wild, they do not care about computer security. Your employer might be, eavesdropping on you, and even somebody that may be eavesdropping, right? Those programs may actually not flag it and remove it. They may actually allow it to occur, which is, I just can't fathom it, but that's what it is. Also in viruses, so you're going to have to deal with malware, spyware, and viruses. Those are three different type of entities. Viruses these days really aren't that big of a problem. You don't really need antivirus software, and I don't care if you're offended by that comment. I have an information technology background, decades worth, and viruses are nowhere near as problematic as malware and spyware. Now, there is no foolproof way, right? You can install malware, spyware program. That is one way. I mean, you could. And what you could do is you could perform some research and find out if these programs that declare that they're anti-malware, anti-spyware, do they really take keystroke logging seriously? Are they going to scan for them, and are they going to warn you? Are they going to remove them? And there might be some software programs that are dedicated to, trying to detect keystroke logging. All right, and same thing with virus software. Another way is just to learn how computers work. This is very lengthy. Obviously, I'm not going to go over this, but this describes what they are and countermeasures. Now, this is just, I cannot believe, well, I'm not surprised. This is Microsoft. They're a terrible corporation, and I'm not surprised that they actually have an enabled keystroke logger. Yes, it says Windows 10 has a key logging built-in feature. You can disable it, though. All right. Now, this Wikipedia claims that on-screen keyboards can be effective against hardware keyloggers. It will defeat some, but not all. Yeah. Well, it says that some hardware keyloggers will defeat some, but not all screen loggers. The reason why you might want to use a screen logger is because any time that there is a key pressed, it will log it and you'll see it right away. But allegedly there are hardware keystroke loggers, keyloggers that will intervene, and they will collect that data before you. So the problem with key logging and keystroke logging is it collects data. It can collect any data that program is designed, whether it's hardware or software. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are keyloggers. They're anti-keyloggers. They're programs that are designed to detect keyloggers on a computer. All right? Yeah, this process is more convoluted and complex. Any piece of information, obviously anything that you type, or such as passwords, username, social security numbers, it just goes on and on. That's the 8-minute mark. I'll extend it a little bit. But what you want to do is you just want to learn basic computer usage, right? And I would, one tip is to learn how spyware and virus programs work and malware programs work. When you learn how they work, then you can use them, or you could certainly learn, and then on your own. Here's a quick way in Microcrap, Microslop, Windows, and even Apple Mac and crap operating systems. They have even Linux has one. It's called a task manager. You can open up your task manager on the operating system that you're using and just look for any suspicious programs. Obviously, they're going to try to hide themselves. You're not going to see keystroke logger or I am logging your keystrokes. You know what I'm saying? But you might notice some programs that are using a lot of resources, or a program that you're not familiar with that you that you didn't install, and then you can go and troubleshoot and try to verify what that program is, and it might be a keystroke logger. Here's some other tips. If you're suspicious that there is a program or even a hardware logger on your computer, connected to your computer, you can boot into a live operating system like Linux or any live, right here, any kind of a live compact disk or universal serial bus. Now, you want to make sure that operating system is clean of any kind of nefarious software. But you could go out and try to obtain just a operating system straight out that is designed doesn't have any kind of keystroke loggers, right? And boot into it, and then also write protect. Yes, you can. You can obtain live compact disk and live universal serial bus drives that are write protected. What that means is that you cannot write any data to it, so that no changes can be made. That's just a way to test It's a possible countermeasure. Or maybe you are suspicious, but you need to get some work done, or right. This is kind of a temporary workaround. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you boot a different operating system and you have a hardware logger, it doesn't matter. That hardware logger could still log all your keystrokes. Oh, I'm not going to go into any more of these further details. This is just kind of the basics, how to check for a keystroke logger. Again, there's software that you could install. There's anti-loggers. Some malware, spyware, virus software will detect, but some of them, even if they detect a keystroke logger or a keylogger, they don't necessarily have a problem with it. But if you educate yourself, then you'll know what to try to and then here's some quick anti-keylogger. What else is there? Oh, learn how to computer surveillance, digital footprint, learn about the hardware keyloggers, and learn what spyware is, and Trojan horses, and a virtual keyboard might be a way to also. Another way is there are programs that will scan your computer. I think this was at the top. Now, they get very convoluted and complex. There's actually kernel-based ones, and those are more difficult to track, and then, you would just remove that kernel. I think this was at the top. There are computer programs that will scan your entire hard drive and look for changes. And that may take a while, but that is another possibility. Good luck. Adios.